So let's start with the session. So yesterday we have discussed about the confirmatory factor analysis and as well as the statistical modeling. So I think you have data set and you have done some work on this particular data set. So if you face any kind of issue or problem in a statistical modeling or confirmatory factor analysis, you can ask. If there any issue or any question related to the confirmatory factor analysis or statistical modeling. Okay, so I think there is no question. So I would like to request kindly uh, spend some time to understand the confirmatory factor analysis, statistical modeling, mediation, and moderation data set we have already provided. So you can run the particular model like confirmatory factor analysis, statistical modeling, and you can follow the step-by-step procedure. Okay. Pandey sir will be providing the recording of this particular session as well as all the previous sessions. So you can see the particular recording and step by step you need to do a particular exercise. So you can able to learn how to perform the SEM as well as the CFA. Okay. So data set already available, so you can perform. So you will find out various issue and various questions arise in your mind. Okay, so it is good for you to understand the SEM as well as the CFA. Okay. So now today we will discuss about the mediation and moderation. So mediation and moderation basically it is a high level statistical technique. Okay. So obviously for the mediation and moderation purpose we have a clear cut theory as well as the model. Okay. So obviously in the CFA part as well as the statistical modeling, we have understand the uh, uh, importance of the model building activity. Okay. So whenever you have a very robust model or you have about various independent and dependent variable, then you can create a particular structural model or path model. So basically, whenever we talk about the mediation analysis, so in this particular independent and dependent variable, there are some other variables, okay, which basically play the role of the mediator or maybe moderator. Okay, so here we need to be check or assess whether the particular mediator variable influence the uh, s- relationship between the dependent variable and independent variable. Okay, so uh, now we will summarize some theoretical aspect of the mediation as well as the moderation analysis. So you can gain some theoretical underpin which is related to the mediation and moderation analysis. Okay. So now the basic question arises, why mediation? Why we need to be use mediation analysis? So simply answering the research question related to the why and how. So whenever you have developed a particular model and you need to find out the answer the question related to the why we need to be add some other variable which influence the relationship, okay, between them. Okay, how we can add some other variable which may affect the relationship between independent and dependent variable. Okay, so this particular other variable simply we can say whether it is a mediation or moderate variable. Okay. Sometimes we add certain kind of mediator variable to extending the theory. Okay. Suppose you have simple theory. Suppose, for example, uh, price have a significance factor for consumer purchase decision. Okay. So basically, it is a theory and proven fact. But suppose you want to expand this particular theory or you want to add some other variable. Okay. So obviously there are some other variable uh, like quality of the product you can also add as a mediator variable. Okay, so it also influence the buying decision. So simply in this particular model simply we can say quality of the product play the role of the mediator between the price of the product as well as the consumer buying behavior. Okay, so sometime we add more than one mediating variable, two or three. Okay, it is the based on the research understanding how many number of mediation or mediator variables they want to add in their theory or in their model. Okay, so now let's share my screen. Okay, so my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now according to the Baron Kenny, a mediator basically defined as a pre-established causal relationship between two variables, that is x and y, is theorized to exist due to an intermediate third variable. Okay, so basically in this particular definition, you can able to understand there is a independent variable or dependent variable. Okay, so x basically we can say it is a independent variable, y is a dependent variable. So basically, the causal relationship between independent and dependent variable exists due to the some other third variable, which is considered as a mediating variable. Okay, so we need to be analyzed whether the particular intermediate third variable influence or affect the causal relationship between independent variable and dependent variable. Okay, there are certain other name of the mediation analysis. Okay, like mediator is sometimes called as intermittent variable. Okay, basically intermittent variable, it is a variable which create the link between two variables. Okay, sometimes it is also called explanatory link. Okay, so basically it's extend the relationship between independent and dependent variable. Okay, with the uh, availability of some mediator variable. Okay, with the help of mediation analysis, we can analyze the indirect effect, direct effect, as well as the total effect. So basically, for understand the measuring the indirect effect, we can use the mediator variable. Okay, so whenever we talk about the indirect effect, it simply means we are using the mediator in the particular model. Sometimes we can say it is a surrogate effect. Okay, surrogate effect basically due to this certain variable or factor, the relationship between independent dependent variable may be affected. Okay, so that why we can say it is also a surrogate effect or surrogate variable. Okay. Intermediate effect, intervening effect. So these are the certain name of the mediator. Okay, so this is the typical model of the mediation analysis. So in this particular model, you will find out there are three variables, okay, or three construct. One is the independent variable or construct. Second one is the dependent variable or construct. Third one is the mediator. So in this particular model, the basic purpose of the researcher is to check the mediating effect of work-family balance conflict or work-family conflict in the relationship between job stress and intent to stay. Okay, so basically this particular paper published in the year of 2017, okay, where they want to check the mediating effect of work-family conflict between the job stress and intention to stay. So in this particular model, you can easily understand job stress basically we can say it is an independent variable, okay, and intention to stay basically we can say it is a it is a dependent variable. Okay, so and work family conflict play the role of the mediator variable. Okay, so basically in this particular model we can understand or measure the direct effect, indirect effect, and total effect. Okay, so with the help of mediation analysis we can able to understand the or analyze the mediating effect, total effect, or direct or indirect effect. Okay, so there are certain procedure to apply the mediation analysis in there. model. Okay, so first we can use the mediation analysis with the help of simple hierarchical regression analysis perspective. Second method to apply the mediation analysis, basically it is, we can say, there are AMOS or CB based structured equation modeling. So basically in the structured equation modeling, we can also find out the total effect, direct effect, as well as the indirect effect. Okay, so basically with the help of indirect effect or direct effect, we can able to understand whether there is a mediation is significant in this particular model or the mediation effect is not significant. Okay, third approach is, basically we can say, we can use the Barron and Canny approach. Okay, so in the Barron and Canny approach, we can use simple hierarchical regression or simple regression analysis. Last one, we can use process macro. Okay, with the help of process macro, and which is developed by Andrew Hayes. Okay, so Andrew Hayes basically developed a process macro software. With the help of process macro software, we can also and analyze the mediation analysis. Okay, so one by one we will discuss about all the particular method which applicable in the mediation analysis. Okay, so uh, basically it is a very simplest and easiest model of the mediation. There are certain other model, like uh, there are sequential mediation analysis. In the sequential mediation analysis, there are more than two mediator we can involve in the particular model. Okay, and there is a mediation moderation analysis. Okay, there is a uh, multiple moderation mediation analysis. Okay, so there are certain other model, like 71 model can be can be analyzed with the help of process macro. Okay, this is the second example. So in this particular example, you can easily find out the uh, mediating effect of work family enrichment between the satisfaction with salary and job security need and career satisfaction. Similarly, satisfaction with self-esteem need and career satisfaction. Okay. Now this is another example. So in this particular model, you can easily find out there are three independent variable. One is a dependent variable, two dependent variables. So sometimes the mediating variable also play the role of the dependent variable, because it creates the link between the independent and dependent variable. So in this particular model, you can easily find out the organizational commitment play the role of the mediating factors between the perceived accessibility and service quality, perceived support for training and service quality, as well as the perceived benefit from training and service quality. Okay, so you can simply find out the mediating effect of organization commitment applying the covariance based structure education modeling. Okay, uh, so before develop a particular model which include the mediator variable, there are certain pre assumption, like as theory support is essential. So whether we need to understand whether we can involve any kind of mediator in their model, so the particular any theory is support this model or not. Okay, so as you need to find out the question. So obviously there is a past research available. Some researcher can conduct certain study. The particular variable can be play the role of the mediating in the particular model. Second, theory is required to support the distinct ordering of the variable in the mediation model. So there are certain theory is also developed by some other researcher. Okay, so we can understand the particular variable in the mediation model. Theory will prescribe the mediator. So obviously some theory can also prescribe the mediator. So there is some limitation or recommendation by the author. They can suggest you can add some other variable as a mediator to make a particular model most robust category. Okay, so definitely there is a scope to add certain kind of mediator factors or variable in their model to improve the model significance. Okay, so this is typical the mediation model. So we have already talked about the with the help of mediation analysis, we can identify or calculate the total effect, direct effect, and indirect effect. So how we can understand what is the total effect model or mediating effect? So in the total effect model, basically it shows the direct cause and effect relationship between the dependent variable and independent variable. It simply reflect as a C. Okay. So when we add a particular mediating variable in the total effect model, okay, so here the between the independent dependent variable, there is a direct effect can be measured. It is considered the Z del. Okay, so in the mediation, like X, uh, it's basically significant relations with the M, and M have some significant relationship with the Y. Similarly, X have some significant relationship with the Y. Okay, so three type of hypothesis we can create. Okay, so here you can easily see. So first hypothesis we can create whether X, there is a significant relationship between X and Y. Okay, second hypothesis, there is significant relationship between X and M. Third one, there is a significant relationship between M and Y. Okay, so we need to be checked if there is a significant relationship between all the particular equation, then definitely there is a mediation effect in this particular model. Okay, so in the practical session, we will conduct certain kind of exercise. Then you can easily relate how we can develop a particular hypothesis and how we can test this particular hypothesis and understand whether there is a full mediation or partial mediation or no mediation. Okay, there are three conditions can be occur. Okay, with the involvement of M, maybe the relationship between X and Y may does not happen. Okay, so basically we can say there is a no mediation effect. Okay, sometimes with the involvement of the M, like mediating factor, the relationship between Y and X can be influenced or can be changed. Then we can say as there is a mediation. Okay. So in the parallel Canny step-by-step procedure is like we need to be done three equation. Equation one simply typical direct effect, typical total effect model. Like in this particular model, y equal to z1 plus cx. So basically we can show y is a dependent variable and x is a independent variable. Okay. Equation two we can add m. So basically we can find out the relationship between m and x, and last we can find out the relationship between interaction between uh, x and m. So second approach, we can use bootstrap method to analyze the mediating effect. So in the structural equation modeling, there is a particular option. We can use the bootstrap method to understand the calculate the direct effect and indirect effect. Similarly, in the process macro also work in a bootstrap procedure method. So okay, so basically in the confidence interval, we can able to understand if there is a mediation effect or there is no mediation effect. Okay. So there are some other example, like if we talk about a serial mediation model. So this is the typical model of the serial mediation analysis. So in the serial mediation analysis, you can find out there are two mediating variable between the dependent and independent variable like x and m. So m1 and m2 basically it is mediating variable, but serially they will influence the relationship between Y. So obviously M1 also influence the relationship between X and Y, and M2 also influence the relationship between X and Y. That's why we can say it is a serial mediation. Okay. This is called the parallel and multiple mediation model, which we have already discussed about this. There is different type of mediation. So in this particular model, you can find out M1 independently influence the relationship between X and Y. Similarly, M2 also independently influence the relationship between X and Y. M3 and N4 also influence independently relationship between X and Y. So there is no linkage between M1, M2, M3, and M4. But in the serial mediation analysis, there is a clear-cut linkage between M1 and M2. Okay, but in the parallel or multiple mediation, there is no link between the mediation variable. But all the particular mediation variable influence the relationship between X and Y. Okay, so here we can able to understand whether M1 may be influence the relationship, but M2 does not influence the relationship. So in this particular model, we can say M2 with the involvement M2, there is no mediation effect between the X and Y. Okay, so in this particular model perspective, we can explore some factor which whether they influence the relationship or not. Okay, so basically in the psychological research or consumer behavior research, basically serial mediation analysis and parallel mediation analysis is more applicable. Okay, like in the psychological, they will assess the personality, attitude, or motivation, or maybe other uh, behavior of the consumer in the different scenario or condition. Okay, or different aspects. So they can add some mediating variable. Okay, so these are the extension of mediation like serial, parallel, moderated, mediated, mediated, moderated, 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 mediation. Okay, so in this any model you can, yeah, you can involve mediator variable as well as the moderator. Okay, so sometimes you have already seen in a particular typical model some variable basically belong to the moderator category and some are mediator. Like various research already done like demographic variable like gender, age, income. They use these particular variable as a moderator variable. Okay, so this is the theory part. Uh, so now we conduct some practical exercise or session. Okay, so now yesterday we have conduct the CFA and SEM. So there is a particular reliability master sheet, okay, like Excel sheet. So this is the link of uh, the download the particular Excel file. So we I can share this particular the link of this particular Excel sheet in your chat box. Okay, so you can click this particular link. Okay, so after click this link, this type of window will appear. Okay, so here you can able to see the resources. So in this resources, you can find out the Excel state tool, YouTube channel, or plugin folder. So you can download various plugins and you can install this plugin in your Amos software. Okay, so it will directly create the reliability or validity, or you can simply click this Excel state tool. Okay, so you can download this particular uh, plugin, particular Excel sheet. Okay, so I have already downloaded. That's why there's some. Okay, so in this particular Excel state tool. Okay, so simply you need to be allow download. Okay, so it will already and then download. So after click this particular Excel sheet, you will simply reach to this particular Excel sheet. Okay, where you can find out the validity master. Okay, so in this validity master sheet, you can simply paste the correlation table as well as the standard deviation weight. Then click this particular red button. Then it will calculate the ABE value, CR value, and square root of the average variance extracted. Okay. Are
Yes,
you
sir.
able to
Thank you.
are you able to download this particular Excel sheet or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
There any theory for moderation also?
Yeah, there is a various theory of the moderation also. Okay, like so this is the typical model of the moderation model. Okay, so in this particular model, you can see Z basically play the role of the moderating. So whenever we talk about the mediation analysis, we represent the mediator variable with the M. Okay, and if we talk about the moderating variable, we can represent moderator as a Z. Okay, so in this particular model, you can find Z play the role of the moderator. Okay, so Z basically uh, moderate the relationship between X and Y. Okay, so basically involvement of the Z, the influence of X on Y or relationship between X and Y may be uh, increase or decrease. Okay, so like in this particular model, you can find like negative emotions about climate change and support for government action. So age basically play the role of the moderator. So like different age person can available. So in this particular model, we can categorize the age like upper age group, medium age group, or lower age group. Okay, so we can categorize the age into three categories. So we can check whether the upper age group individual person, okay, uh, moderate the relationship between have some moderating effect between the negative emotions about climate change or support for government action. Okay, similarly, some in this particular model you can check. Okay, so upper age group people may be more aware about the climate change or government policy, so definitely they will influence or they will basically play a great role in this particular relationship. But lower income or lower age group people basically are not much aware. So here we can find out the upper age group basically influence the relationship between negative emotions about climate change and government support of for government action. So in here the example B hypothesize that the relationship between negative emotions about climate change and support for government action on the climate change will be stronger among older people. Okay, so it's simply you can create some hypothesis. Okay, so obviously older people are much aware, so they have strong influence in this particular relationship. Okay. Okay, so any model like simple mediation model, you can also use various more than two or three moderator variables. So in this particular model, if you want to add some other moderator variable like uh, income or maybe country or region. Okay, so suppose if you add some add a moderating variable like region, so South Asian country or South Asian region or maybe uh, northern region. Okay, so we can analyze ki whether this particular region have strong influence between the relationship between emotion and negative emotion about climate change or support for government action. Okay, so in this part, moderation basically in the moderation analysis, we need to be create a interaction effect. Okay, so interaction effect we need to be multiply the dependent variable and independent variable as well as the moderating variable. Then we can calculate the moderating effect. Okay. So this is the particular diagram you need to be make while you are showing the moderating effect in your model. Okay. So this is the particular model. In this particular model, you can find out the moderating and mediating effect. So here you can find out M basically play the role of the mediator and W basically play the role of the moderator. Okay. So this particular simple model, we can say it is a moderated mediated model. So in the same model, you can apply mediation as well as the moderation. Okay. So basically it is a very typical or very critical to assess this particular model. Okay. So this one is the mediated moderated model. Okay. Why we can say this one is a moderated mediated, this one is a mediated moderated model. Why? Because the moderator variable basically creates the link between X and M. But in this particular model, the moderator variable basically influence the relationship between M and Y. Okay, so there is an independent variable, dependent variable. Basis of the independent dependent variable, we can able to understand the particular model belong to the mediated moderated model or maybe moderated mediated model. Clear? Okay,
Yes, sir.
there are two moderator variable in this particular model. So, like there are typical model like this is the parallel mediation uh, as well as the parallel moderation analysis. So there is a particular theory. So in the practical sales part, we will also discuss about some theory as well as the theoretical aspect. Okay, so we will run this particular mediation analysis in the same data file. Okay, the data file is already shared with you. So basically this is the data file. So in this particular data file, we have already run the structural modeling. Okay, so in this particular model, you can find out the job satisfaction, family satisfaction, life satisfaction, and work family uh, balance. So this is the particular model. So in this particular model, you will find out the work family balance play the role of the independent variable and life satisfaction play the role of the dependent variable, and family satisfaction basically play the role of the moderating variable. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now first we will use covariance based classification modeling to test the mediating effect in this particular model. So this is the SPSS file. So first you need to be click this IBM SPSS software. Okay. So this particular model is already we have already made this particular model. Okay. Okay. So here we find out the family satisfaction line. Okay, so family satisfaction is this. So we will delete this particular variable. Okay, so now this is the typical mediating model. So in this particular model, you will easily find out the work family balance, life satisfaction, and family satisfaction. Okay, so simply uh, you need to be follow all the particular procedure which we apply to analyze the structure equation modeling. So simply what you need to do, simply click this particular analyze property. Here you need to be click the maximum likelihood. Okay, in the output there is a particular checkbox. You need to be select minimize HT, indirect effect, direct effect, total effect, standard estimate, covariance. Okay, these all the next. Whenever you apply mediation analysis or want to assess the mediating effect, so simply what you need to do, you need to be click the bootstrap. So in the bootstrap part, this type of window will appear. So what you need to do, simply click this perform bootstrap percentile confidence interval or bias correlation confidence interval. So here number of bootstrap sample you can decide. So simply basis of the theory, minimum 5,000 number of bootstrap sample we can use. So number of bootstrap sample increase, then the result may be become more robust. Okay. Similarly, you can select the confidence interval level. Okay. So most of the research in the hypothesis you can simply read 95% confidence interval evolved with it. So here you can also take 95 or 90. So if you take 90, then simply there is a 10% chance of error in this particular hypothesis or particular model. Okay, that why we can, sometime we can use in the 90% confidence interval or 95. It depend up to you. So basically, in the particular high quality research paper, 95% confidence interval is more suitable. Clear? So always remember, you need to be click bootstrap. In the bootstrap, you need to be check all this particular checkbox, perform bootstrap percentile, and here you need to be change the value. Clear? Now, right? Now you need to do simply click calculate estimate. So after click calculate estimate, the output uh, view can be activated. Okay, so it become the red. Simply click this output uh, view. In the output view, you can click the standard estimate. So you will find out this result. Now you need to be click this particular view text. So in the view text, you will find out the output of this particular model. So in the particular simple SEM model, simply be basically check the CMIN upon degree of freedom. It is 2.387, as well as the GFI value. It is 0.927. Okay, and CFI value 0.980. It is quite good, and RSME value it is a 0.096. So basically, all the cutoff value is uh, up to the mark of the cutoff value. So we can say the particular model is a very best fit model or very good model. Clear? Okay. Now simply click the estimate. In the estimate part, you can simply find out this particular value. So here you can find out the family satisfaction, like work family balance, have positive and significant effect on family satisfaction. So this hypothesis is uh, accepted because the p-value is significant. Similarly, work family balance have positive and significant effect on life satisfaction. It is also accepted because the p-value is significant. uh, Last one, family satisfaction have positive and significant effect on life satisfaction. It is also significant because the p-value is less than 0.05. So we can say all the particular hypothesis is accepted. Okay, so here we can see the direct effect. Basically, we can say it's significant. Why we can say direct effect? Because the work family balance have positive and significance impact on the life satisfaction is significant. Okay. Now, now you need to be check whether the particular family satisfaction plays the role of the mediating variable or not. Okay. So what you need to be do? You need to be go do this estimate. My window is visible or not? Yes.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Uh, okay. So in go to the estimate, and this estimate simply you need to be click matrix. Matrices simply you can find out the total effect, direct effect, indirect effect, standardized indirect effect, standardized direct effect. Okay, and again you need to be go to this bootstrap distribution. Okay, because we apply the bootstrap procedure. One second. 1 second. There's a lot of value appear, that why there is some confusion. Okay. Now again, simply click to the output. In the output, simply click to the estimate, scale and matrix. Simply click matrices. Here you can find out the direct and indirect effect. Okay, so what you need to be checked? You need to be checked firstly standard indirect effect. Okay, so here you can check the indirect effect. Estimated value is 0.274. Okay, and the direct effect and the total effect is okay. So in this particular here now this activated. Okay, so here you can see bootstrap confidence as well as the estimate. So simply click this bootstrap confidence. So simply click this percentile method. So here you can find out the upper bound and lower bound. Okay, and total significant. So suppose if you want to check the uh, standard indirect effect, the estimated value of indirect effect via family satisfaction between the work family balance and life satisfaction is 0.397. Okay, it is a standard regression weight. And now you need to be check the upper bound limit as well as the lower bound limit. So upper bound limit, or you need to be check the total significant. So simply here you can find total significant is 0.000 in the standard indirect effect. So simply we can say the indirect effect of family satisfaction, okay, between the work family balance and life satisfaction is significant because the p value is 0.000. Okay, and the upper bound limit is 0.308. Okay, and the lower bound limit is at 0.308 and the upper bound limit is 0.485. Okay, so simply we can say there is a partial mediation. Okay, there is a partial mediation effect between the work family balance and life satisfaction. Okay, or simply we can say family satisfaction partially mediate the relationship between work family balance and life satisfaction. Okay, so what you need to be checked? Firstly, you need to be check the standard effect size. So basically it is a uh, estimate value like 0.485. Next, you need to be check the significant level, total significant. If it is less than 0.05, then we can say it is a significant. Okay, if suppose the particular total significant value is more than 0.05, then we can say there is no indirect effect. It simply means there is no mediating effect in this particular between this particular variable. Clear? Okay.
So what do you mean by partial mediation?
So simple. There is how you can understand identify whether there is a partial mediation or full mediation. Okay. So obviously there are three criteria or three conditions. First you need to be check the relationship between independent variable and mediate and independent variable and dependent variable. Suppose the relationship between independent and dependent variable is significant. Okay. So we can say obviously there is a significant relationship between independent and dependent variable. Okay. And the second condition is uh, when you involve the mediating variable and the indirect effect is not significant. Okay. Then we can say there is a partial or there is a no mediation. Okay. When the particular indirect effect involvement of the mediating variable is not significant, then we can say there is a no mediation. Clear? Third condition, how we can say there is a partial, if the relationship between independent and dependent variable is significant, as well as the involvement of the mediating variable, the indirect effect is also significant, then we can say there is a mediating effect, partial mediating effect. Okay. So simply you can understand in this particular typical model. Okay. So in this particular model, suppose the, or maybe this is the criteria you can easily understand. Suppose in the first step, the initial relationship between x and y without mediator, significant or not significant. If it is significant, then in the second part, relationship between x and m and y. So if both relation are significant, any sort of mediation present. Obviously, we need to be checked whether there is a full mediation or no mediation or partial mediation. So second country, if any of the two relationship is not significant, then no mediation. Okay, any of two relationship. Okay, suppose the in the first relationship is significant. Okay, but the relationship between x and m and y is not significant. Then we can say there is no mediation because it is a direct relationship between x and y. Okay, so mediating variable is not influence the relationship between x and y. Okay. Now, if we talk about the partial mediation, so here you can check if significant relationship between x and y. Okay, x and y में क्या है significant relationship, but there is significant relationship between x and y. It is a partial mediation. Okay, involvement of the m. Now, two, there is a big significant relationship between x and y. Then we can say there is a partial mediation. Clear? So, if there is all this particular relationship so significant, then simply you can say there is a partial mediation. Okay? There is no if and but. Suppose relationship between independent and dependent variable is significant. Relationship between x and m is significant. Relationship between m and y is also significant. Then simply you can say there is a partial mediation. Clear?
Okay, sir. Okay.
But you need to be check this particular significant value. Okay, so in the significant value you can understand the relationship between here. Now second criteria, you need to be check the lower limit and upper limit, lower bound and upper bound. Okay, so suppose if any bound having negative value, then we can say the particular relationship is not significant. So automatically the total significant value is more than 0.005. Clear? So whether you can check the significant value or whether you can check the upper limit and lower limit. If between the upper limit and lower bound, if zero appear, then you can say the relationship is not significant or indirect effect is not significant. Clear? So you need to be check only three things. It is a very easy. First, simply click to the matrices. Here you can see total effect. Total effect also significant. Okay. Direct effect is also significant because the direct effect value, significant value is 0.003. Okay. So it is less than 0.05. Then we can say it is also significant. as well as the indirect effect value is also significant. So here you can easily see the all the particular relationship are significant. Okay, that why we can say there is a partial mediating effect between the work family balance and life satisfaction. Okay, or simply we can say family satisfaction play the partial mediating effect between the work family balance and life satisfaction. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay, and you need to be check this upper limit as well as lower limit value. So now I am pretty confident you are able to understand how you can apply mediating analysis with the help of covariance based structure equation modeling. कोई भी मॉडल है स्ट्रक्चर इक्वेशन मॉडलिंग तो हाउ यू कैन असेस वेदर देयर इज अ mediating effect between the variable or not.
Any for full mediation?
Full mediation simple there is a two condition whether there is a mediating effect or there is a partial or there is a no mediation. Okay,
Sir, in some research paper, there is also given quasi mediation. What do you mean by the
which mediation?
quasi mediation?
Quasi mediation I don't know.
QUASI.
Basically this particular variable like it is a dummy variable. Okay, sometime researchers use dummy variable in the economic research. You can find out there are dummy variable we can add which influence the relationship between the independent dependent variable and they act as a mediating variable. So if this particular variable show the significant relationship or median, then we can say it is a quasi mediating maybe, but I am not sure. Basically, um, I also need to be check what is the meaning of this particular mediation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so partial mediation simply means all the particular relationship is significant, then we can say partial mediation. Full mediation simply we can say when the relationship between independent variable and dependent variable is not significant. Okay, what the involvement of the mediating variable, the relationship between x and m is significant as well as the x, m and y is also significant, then we can say there is a full mediation because the involvement of the m, the relationship between x and y is significant. Clear? You were asking now
Yes,
how
sir.
we
Yes,
can
sir.
identify full mediation. So full mediation only happen when if the independent variable and dependent relationship between independent and dependent variable is not significant, the first condition, but the relationship between x and m and y is significant, then we can say there is a full mediation. Okay, partial mediation we can say when all the particular relationship is significant, then definitely we can say there is some influence of the mediating variable. Okay, and when we can say there is no mediating effect, when the relationship between independent variable and dependent variable is significant, what the relationship between x and m may be not significant, or maybe the relationship between m and y may not significant. In any situation, we can say there is a no mediation effect. Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So now I am close this window. Now, second approach is a process macro. Okay. So I think you have already downloaded the process macro software. Vishal sir already shared the link to download the process macro. So what you need to do, we can use same data to assess the mediating effect with the help of process macro software. So simply you need to be click analyze. In the analyze, you need to be click regression. In the regression, you will find out the process macro software, which is developed by the Andrew F. Hayes. Okay. So what you need to do, simply click Andrew Hayes. So here, so in this particular, first let me understand. So in this particular data set, you will find out there is a independent, there is a variables which represent the job satisfaction, family satisfaction, life satisfaction, and work family balance. So what you need to do, you need to be identify the mean value of this particular variables. Okay, like I have already calculated the mean value, like total work family balance, total uh, job satisfaction, total family satisfaction, total LTS. Okay, so how you can create a new variable in this particular Excel sheet? Are you aware how you can create new variable? Anyone can tell me? Suppose we want to create a new variable, adding uh, work family balance 3 and 4. So how you can create a new variable?
By variable view
Uh,
and
no,
add,
no,
specifying it numerically or
no, no, no,
what
no,
type.
no, no, no. Suppose, for example, we delete this particular variable. Okay, cut TLS. Okay, so obviously in this particular data file, there is a five variable which represent the life satisfaction. But we want to create a one variable which have the main value of the life satisfaction. So what you need to do, simply you need to be go to the transform. Okay, in the transform you need to go to the compute variable. Okay, in the compute variable, what you need to be give the name. So I give the name total life satisfaction, and what you need to do, simply in this box click mean, or simply you can click all. Here you can find out the uh, mean or average or maybe other thing. So simply what you need to be find out mean. Okay, so click mean. Here you need to be drag the particular item like life satisfaction 1. Okay, comma life satisfaction 2, comma life satisfaction 3, comma life satisfaction 4, comma life 5, and simply click OK. After click OK, now in this particular window, you can check the new variable has been created like TLS, life satisfaction. Similarly, you need to be create all the particular new variable. Okay, so this is the main value of all these particular five variables. Clear? So for the process macro, because it will not take the latent particular unobserved variable. So what you need to do, you need to be create a particular one variable which represent the total value, like mean value of this particular variable. Clear? So now you have already created this particular main value of all these particular items. Now you need to be click analyze and go to regression and go click to the process macro. Okay, so here you can find out the variables view. Okay, as well as in the variable view, you can find out the model number. So there is 92 model. So you need to be select this particular model number you want to use. Okay, so there is a particular uh, uh, 1 second. Okay, mediation model number. So this is the PDF. Okay, so it is a Endo has develop a particular PDF. Give me 1 second. This is an important call. Okay. Uh, so this is the PDF. Here you can find out the model number. So model number 1 basically typical moderation model. Okay. This is a conditional effect model. Okay. Model 2, it is a parallel moderation. Okay. Like it is a moderated model number 3. Model number 4, it is a simple mediation effect model. Okay, so you can learn about the various models. So this much number of model you can run in this particular process macro. Clear? So we will share this particular PDF to all of you, so you can able to understand the which model number you can apply to this is the particular relationship, mediating or moderating. Clear? So now, okay. So here for the mediating analysis, simply you need to be select model number 4. Always remember in the simple mediation analysis, you need to be select model number 4. Now, so now you need to be drag y variable. Y variable is a independent variable or dependent variable. So in this particular model, can anybody tell me which is the y, which is the x, and which is the m?
So Y is life satisfaction, X is work family balance, and
Okay.
M is family satisfaction.
Okay. So y is basically we can say the independent variable or y is the dependent variable. So in this particular model, dependent variable is life satisfaction. Okay. So simply you need to be select the total life satisfaction. Okay. X is a independent variable. Independent variable it is a work family balance. So we can take total work family balance as a x variable. Now in this particular model, M is family satisfaction. Okay. So we can take total family satisfaction as a mediator. So in the mediator box, you can click this, drag this particular total family satisfaction. Clear? So now you don't need to be check anything. Okay, it is up to mark. There is no need to be check. So after drag this particular variable in the x variable box, y variable as mediator. Now you need to be click OK. So now this is the output file. Okay, it is visible to all of you. Output
Yes, sir.
file is okay. So now here you can really see the first model number 4. So here you can understand it is a mediating effect model. Now here you can check the summary like why we take total life satisfaction, X is a work family balance, and M is a family satisfaction. Clear? Total sample size is 294. And now The first model, basically in this particular model, you can see it shows the relationship between family satisfaction and work family balance. So basically it is a typical shows the relationship between X and X and family side. It is a mediating. Okay. So simply coefficient value is 0.435 and the p value is 0.000. Then we can say the particular hypothesis is significant. So simply we can say there is a positive and significant relationship, or simply relationship between work family balance and family satisfaction. Yeah, simply we can say there is a positive and significant effect of work family balance on family satisfaction. Okay, and the lower limit class interval, upper class limit interval have positive, have same sign, like positive sign. Okay, suppose if there is a one is positive, second one is negative, then simply you can say the particular zero can be appear in the between the lower limit class interval and upper limit class interval. Then we can say the particular hypothesis is not significant. Okay, so there is a two-way through we can able to check whether the particular hypothesis is significant or not. Okay, so first, second one is the relationship, or relationship between life satisfaction and uh, work family balance and family satisfaction. Okay, so here you can also see the both the particular hypothesis significant because the p value is 0.001 or 0.000, and the lower limit and upper limit class interval also significant. Clear? So all the particular three condition we can say significant, then simply you can understand there is a partial mediation in the first instant. Now you need to be check direct effect of x on y. Okay, so basically if the direct effect between x and y uh, is significant, so the p value is 0.0001. So simply you can say the relationship between x and y is significant. Okay, and indirect effect between x and y, indirect effect simply means basically involvement of the m, the relationship between x and y. Okay, so here you can see the tfs is a mediating variable, and you can find the effect size is 0.2594, and the lower limit class interval value and the upper limit class interval value is 0.13195. matlab both are positive. Then we can say obviously there is a significant indirect effect. Okay, direct effect is significant as well as the indirect effect. Okay, with the involvement of the family satisfaction is also significant because the effect is 0.2594 and the lower limit and upper limit class interval value is uh, having same sign. There is no zero comes between the lower limit class interval and upper limit class interval. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what you need to be check? You need to be check relationship between xm and or xn m, xm and m and y, and x and y. Okay, so here in the direct effect you can see if the direct effect is significant. Okay, as well as the indirect effect is also significant because there is no zero involved in between the lower and upper limit class interval. Then simply you can see there is a partial mediating effect. Okay, so in any research paper, indirect effect you need to be mentioned. You need to be mentioned only two things: direct effect and indirect effect. Okay, so how you can say there is a partial mediation with the help of direct effect and indirect effect p value? You can simply say whether this is a direct partial mediation or full mediation or no mediation. Clear? This is the simple process macro software through we can analyze the mediating effect. Any doubt or question in this particular mediating analysis? I know I am little fast because within a 2 hours period, it is not possible to cover mediating and moderation analysis. Okay. Any question?
Sir, so which is better to use, that MOS one or this process macro?
Both are acceptable, okay. But suppose when you basically conduct the structure creation modeling, along with the structure creation modeling, you want to tell the mediating effect between the variable. Then definitely you need to be use the covariance based structure creation modeling, okay. But suppose if you want to add more than two mediating variable, okay, like partial mediation or sequential mediating effect, then definitely process macro is more suitable. But in the SEM, you can only able to check the simple mediating analysis, or you can conduct the simple mediating analysis. But suppose if you add two mediating variable, then it is very difficult to assess the mediating effect with the help of covariance for structure equation modeling. Okay. That by the
Okay, sir.
in the process macro there are number of models like 92 models. Okay. So basically it is a very simple problem. That by you can understand process macro is very easy. Okay. But if there is a complex model, then definitely you need to be select other model. Okay. Like suppose you want to use sequential mediating analysis, then you need to be select model number 6, model number other model number, and the interpretation of this particular model is entirely different. Okay, so it is up to you which particular s- software you want to use in your analysis perspective. Okay, so now all the particular research paper basically use process macro because they use bootstrap method to analyze the mediating effect. Okay. So whenever you apply mediating analysis in the process macro, you need to be create a separate variable, okay, which represent the main value of all the particular items which represent a particular construct. Clear? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So can you give me 5 minute break?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sure.
after 5 minutes we will meet. Okay, so now let's move to the moderating analysis. Okay, so for the moderating perspective, uh, okay, so this is the typical model of the moderating. So in this particular model, you will find out the uh, family centrality play the role of the moderating variable between the feedback from the family member and family satisfaction. Okay, so we have a particular data set like moderation data. This one is okay. So this is the data file. So in this particular data file, you will find out there are three variables: centrality, family feedback, and satisfaction. Okay, so in this particular model, we want to check whether the family centrality play the role of the moderating variable between the feedback from the family's member and family satisfaction. Okay, so simply we use the process macro software to assess the moderating effect between the variable. Okay, so what you need to do, you simply click to the analyze and go to the regression. You will find out the process macro. So in the process macro, you will find out the number of variables. So now for the typical moderating analysis perspective, you need to be select model number 1. Okay, for the simple mediating perspective, you need to be select model number 4. Okay, moderating, you need to be select the model number 1. So in the moderating variable, simply you need to be select the y variable, x variable, and moderator variable. So in this particular model, simply you can check family satisfaction. It is a uh, dependent variable, and feedback from family's member is a independent variable. Okay, so x feedback is a x and family satisfaction is a y. So family feedback from family y, satisfaction is x, and centrality basically it is a moderating variable. Okay, w. Now you need to be check the bootstrap procedure 95 confidence sample, 5,000 bootstrap sample, and click option. So here in the option you will find out the certain statistics. So what you need to be check here, you need to be check the uh, minus 1 HD mean plus 1 HD. Okay, and you need to be click Johnson name and output. So basically Johnson name and output basically provide the uh, uh, link whether the particular variable have significant moderating effect between the variable. Okay, it basically show the high, low, and medium category of uh, effect between the independent dependent variable with the help of the moderating variable. Okay, so in this particular process macro or moderating analysis, you need to be click Johnson name and output. Clear? And click continue and click OK. Okay, so here you can really check the model number 1 independent y equal to y represent the family feedback, and x is a satisfaction, and w is a centrality. Okay, sample size 100 1307. Here you can check model number, output variable, family feedback. Okay, so here you can one second. There's some other thing we need to be check. So effect size. Hmm. One second. Okay. Okay, save bootstrap estimate. Process macro. Okay. So in this particular, as a moderating perspective, we need to be select model number 1. Okay. So okay, so go to the output box. Here you can find uh, the relationship between family feedback and satisfaction. It's significant. Okay, like the p value is 0.000 and the coefficient value is 0.4899, and the upper limit and lower limit class control value is 0.2910, as well as the zero point 0.6. So all the particular lower and upper limit class control value is significant, okay, or positive. Similarly, if we talk about the interaction effect, okay, so for the moderating variable, we need to be find out the interaction effect. Okay, so in the mediation analysis, you typically find direct effect, indirect effect, and total effect. Okay, but in the moderating analysis, you need to find out the interaction effect. Why we need to be use the interaction effect? Because uh, basically moderating variable moderate the relationship between independent and dependent variable. So both the involvement of the moderating variable and the independent particular independent dependent variable or independent variable can influence the uh, independent particular dependent variable value. Okay, so there we need to be check interaction. So interaction simply we can say uh, between the moderating variable and the independent variable and the dependent variable. Okay, now here you can see the relationship between family feedback and centrality, because centrality basically play the role of the mediating variable. Okay, so the p-value is not significant. Okay, so 0.2175 and the lower limit and class interval limit carry the zero value. Okay, like this is the minus value and this is the plus, so definitely zero will occur between the upper limit and class interval value. Okay, so definitely we can say the family feedback and centrality have does not have significant effect. Now, if we talk about the interaction effect, so interaction effect was also not significant because the p-value is 0.4716. Clear? So here we can say there is no moderating effect between the family feedback and satisfaction. Okay. So this is the typical model. Second way to use the moderating effect, we can use the simple hierarchical regression analysis model. So in the hierarchical regression model analysis, simply you need to be create a separate variable, okay, which is the this is particular variable, so the interaction value. So we have already create like feedback multiply by centrality. Okay, so centrality basically play the role of the moderating variable and feedback basically play the role of the independent variable. So if you want to create the interaction effect, you need to be multiply the moderating variable and the independent variable, then you can create the particular interaction effect. Okay, so simply suppose you want to uh, simply click regression. Okay, here you can click linear. So in that linear you need to be use dependent variable. Dependent variable is satisfaction, independent variable is family feedback, and second click enter regression. Dependent variable is satisfaction, independent variable is family feedback, and second one is a interaction effect. Okay, so now click in the statics, you model R square change, continue and click OK. So in the moderating effect, you need to be create the interaction effect. Okay, so here you can find out the The model summary, the R value is 0.674. It simply means it expand the 60% model, and the ANOVA significant value is 0.000. Then simply because the model is a good model, and the coefficient value in this particular model, the uh, relationship between family feedback and satisfaction is significant because the p-value is 0.000, as well as the interaction effect between the feedback and centrality is also significant, 0.000. Okay, so in this particular perspective you can also analyze the mediating effect. Okay, clear? Suppose in this particular model, suppose we take feedback and centrality as a moderating variable, then we can check what is the effect. Okay, so it will show there is a error. Okay, so what we are doing, it is a right. Okay, so I think there is some issue. The
It is saying variable name should be less than 8
where
in the output.
no, maybe because the Johnson name and output is not visible. That is the issue. If it is visible, then we can create a particular this type of diagram. Okay, so we have already created, but now I don't understand what is the error. So we need to be check the data set again. Maybe there is some issue in the data file. Maybe at scale. Okay, okay. So now take some another example. Okay, so maybe some error in this particular data file. So the Johnson name and output is not visible. So now take second example. Okay, so this is the second model. This is model basically. Uh, um, okay, so this is the model. So in this particular model, privacy concern have significant effect on online trust, and cultural background basically play the role of the moderating variable. Clear? So now in this particular model, you will see the uh, online trust. Okay, OT is the online trust, and privacy concern, PC is a privacy concern, and cultural capital background is a CC. Okay, so we have created the particular interaction effect also in this particular data file. So now check, go to regression process. Now select the y variable. Y variable is,
Online trust.
Online trust. Okay, online trust and privacy concern is a X variable, and cultural capital as a moderating variable. Okay, model number one, option John's name and output. Uh, Action X test for X Y M interaction. Okay, click continue. Okay, now in this particular output, you will find out the uh, effect, interaction effect, as well as the no, Johnson and Neyman output. Maybe some error in the data file. So here you can see in this particular model, the relationship between online trust and privacy concern is significant because the p-value is 0, as well as the relationship between online trust and cultural capital is also significant because the p-value is 0.001. And lastly, the relationship between OT with the interaction effect is also significant uh, because it is less than 0.05. Okay, and the upper limit class interval value does not have zero value. Okay, like both the particular upper limit and lower limit is a negative value. Okay, that why we can say all the particular relationship is significant or hypothesis is significant. Okay, now here you can check the interaction effect. Interaction effect bond 0.15. So basically it is a significant. Now here you need to check the conditional effect of the focal period. So basically Johnson and Neyman output basically provide the conditional effect. Okay, so in the conditional effect you will see the uh, cultural capital. It is so the lower limit, lower centrality, or simply lower cultural and capital background. It is a median, a mean, or simple mean cultural background, and last one is it is a upper level cultural background value. Okay, so you can interpret this is the lower, this is the mean, or this is the upper, and the p-value is also significant in all this particular case. So basically, no, Johnson and Norman output divide this particular moderating variable into three categories: upper, lower, upper, and median category, and they will interpret which particular label the moderating effect is pretty higher. Okay, so all this particular, if there is a significant value. So there are no statistical significant transition point within the observed range of the moderator found using the Johnson-Neyman method. Okay. So in this particular model, all the particular p-value significant. That's why there is no significant transition point. Okay. So we cannot say the upper level if a particular person having a high cultural background, it will basically influence the relationship between the privacy concern and online trust. Okay, so in the same all the particular three category, the result basically we can say it is the same. So like upper cultural background people, as well as the lower cultural background people, as well as the mean or middle level cultural background people, uh, basically have a moderating effect in the privacy concern and the online trust. Okay, so this way you can interpret this particular Johnson name and output result. Okay. Clear?
So with this, we can make the graph.
Hmm. If there is a particular significant transition point, then definitely you will create the graph. Okay, but in this particular way, it is a not, we cannot create the graph. Okay. So again, the result is same. So we are not able to interact. So sometime if the result is uh, have certain kind like say statistical significant transaction point, then we can create this type of diagram. Okay. So here you can find out the feedback, centrality, and satisfaction. So it is the uh, our lower, median, and high. Similarly, low, median, high, low, median, high. And here is the centrality. This is the lower, this is the median, and this is the high. And satisfaction, this is the low, median, high. So here how we can interpret, because uh, in the low centrality, the low feedback, this must be the satisfaction level. Okay, the low centrality, if a person has low centrality and they gain mean level of feedback, then this must of the centrality. If the centrality, low centrality people have uh, high level of feedback, then satisfaction level is this much. Okay, so this way you can interpret this result. Clear? Like a particular person have low centrality. Okay, and if they get low feedback, okay, then this much of satisfaction they will get. Yeah. Similarly, if we talk about the high level centrality people having high feedback, then this much of the satisfaction level. So obviously satisfaction level will increase. Okay. So in this particular low centrality, high centrality, we can draw a particular diagram. So this represent the satisfaction level. Clear? So we need to be check what is the problem in data set. If data set is up to mark, then definitely we will show this result. But maybe there is some error in data file. Now clear? Any question or doubt? No
Uh,
question.
so,
Uh,
uh, so basically, SEM is like a model fit, checking the model, and mediation moderation is we are measuring the effect of a variable on a dependent variable.
hmm. So for basically SEM we use to test the model. Okay, model fit kit. But CFA simply you use when you develop any kind of measurement scale. Okay, or you
Okay.
want to check a particular scale is reliable or not reliable. So you need to be apply the CFA. But SEM basically it is used for the theory building perspective or simple. There is a difference between regression and SEM. When suppose if you have multiple independent variable, okay, and multiple dependent variable, then it is not possible to use regression analysis. Okay, that's why when a particular model have more than two independent variable as well as the different dependent variable, and you need to be check the simultaneously the relationship between the independent dependent variable, then uh, SEM model or SEM technique is more suitable. Clear?
Okay. Thank- Then a hierarchical model is used for both mediation and moderation.
The simple regression you can use, but there is a condition. If there is only one independent variable and one dependent variable, then you can check the mediating or moderating effect in a simple linear regression or hierarchical regression model. But suppose there is a multiple multiple independent, dependent, and multiple moderating or mediating variable, then how you can use this regression? That you need to be go to this particular SCM technique or maybe process macro. Okay, so both the simple model definitely you can use regression, but in the high level model you need to be use the process macro software.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so any other question?
So if no question, then we can wind up the meeting. Dr. Pandya, can you please stop the recording?
Yeah, sir, sure.